Imagine you're walking through a peaceful forest. The birds are chirping, and a gentle breeze rustles the leaves. Suddenly, you notice a young deer, a fawn, standing still, almost frozen. What you're witnessing is a natural survival mechanism known as the fawn response. But what exactly is the fawn response? Why does it happen? Who's most likely to experience it? And what are the consequences? Let's dive in and find out. Hey there, my name is Daniela Moore, and I'm a licensed professional counselor. The fawn response is a behavior reaction to perceived threats where an individual exhibits submissive or appeasing behaviors to avoid conflict or harm. This term is derived from the behavior of young deer or fawns, which instinctively freeze and remain still when they sense danger. This response is not limited to animals, though. Humans also exhibit the fawn response, often in situations of stress and fear. In psychology, it's known as one of the 4 primary responses to trauma, alongside fight, flight, or freeze. The origins of the fawn response can be traced back to our evolutionary history. For both animals and humans, this response was developed as a survival mechanism. For animals like the fawn, staying still and blending into the environment can be a way to avoid detection by predators. Similarly, early humans who could avoid confrontation by submitting or appearing non-threatening were more likely to survive in a world filled with danger. This ingrained response helped them navigate interactions with more dominant individuals or groups. The fawn response is a subconscious attempt to create safety and avoid perceived threats like conflict, criticism, or harm in social or professional settings. In modern times, the fawn response can manifest in various ways. Here are the key characteristics. People-pleasing. Individuals with a fawn response often prioritize other people's needs over their own, seeking to keep everyone happy and avoid confrontation. Conflict avoidance. They may go to great lengths to avoid conflict or disagreement, even if it means suppressing their own feelings and opinions. Submissive behavior. This response can involve submissive, overly accommodating, or compliant behavior where the individual might overly agree with others or defer to their wishes. Self-sacrifice. Those exhibiting a fawn response might neglect their own needs and boundaries to gain approval or avoid negative outcomes. Hypervigilance to other people's emotions. They tend to highly attune to the emotions and needs of those around them, often to the detriment of their own emotional well-being. Can you relate to any of these behaviors? Let me know in the comments. The fawn response is a fascinating aspect of animal and human behavior. It's a reminder of our deep-rooted survival instincts and the complex ways we navigate the world around us. By understanding it, you can better manage your reactions and lead a more fulfilling life. If you're learning something new, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't yet for more content designed to elevate your well-being. So why does it happen, and what makes a person more prone to experiencing the fawn response? As I mentioned, the fawn response often develops as a survival strategy, typically in environments where individuals feel threatened and unsafe. Several factors can contribute to this tendency. Early childhood experiences is one of them. Individuals who grew up in environments where they had to please caregivers to avoid punishment or gain approval are more likely to develop this tendency. This is often seen in those who experience neglect, abuse, or inconsistent parenting. Experiencing trauma, especially repeated or prolonged trauma, can condition someone to react with submission or appeasement. This is a common reaction in survivors of domestic abuse or those who have experienced bullying. Certain personality traits, such as high empathy, sensitivity for rejection, or a strong desire for harmony, can make individuals more likely to exhibit fawn behaviors. Societal and cultural norms also play a huge role. In some cultures, submissive and compliant behaviors are encouraged or even expected, particularly in specific gender roles. In certain East Asian countries, for example, traditional values prioritize harmony, hierarchy, and gender roles, often expecting women to be modest, submissive, and nurturing. In some South Asian countries, traditional values focus on family honor and reputation, with women expected to be obedient and fulfill roles as dutiful daughters, wives, and mothers. And similarly, in some Middle Eastern countries, cultural and religious traditions emphasize gender roles where women are expected to be supportive and subservient to male family members. These are just some examples, and certainly not limited to these specific cultures. These cultural expectations are deeply rooted in historical, religious, and social traditions. However, it's important to note that within these cultures, there is a variety of experiences, and many people and communities are challenging or changing these traditional roles, creating more gender equality and personal freedom. Now, let's consider a couple of examples of the Fawn response. Meet Sarah, an employee who often finds herself in stressful situations at work. When her boss is upset, Sarah's immediate reaction is to agree with everything he says, even if she has a different opinion or a better solution. Sarah's behavior is a classic example of the Fawn response. By being overly agreeable and submissive, she hopes to avoid her boss's anger and maintain a sense of safety and approval. While this response can provide short-term relief, it often leads to long-term stress and dissatisfaction. Let's look at another example, this time in a romantic relationship. Meet Amy and Alex. Alex often finds himself agreeing with everything Amy wants, even if it means compromising his own needs and desires. Alex's behavior is another example of the Fawn response. In the context of attachment theory, Alex may have developed an anxious attachment style due to inconsistent caregiving or other relationship experiences previously. This makes him highly sensitive to his partner's moods and overly eager to please to avoid conflict and gain approval. Attachment theory suggests that our early relationships with caregivers shape how we relate to others in adulthood. For Alex, the need to fawn in order to feel secure and avoid abandonment became ingrained. To learn more about how your attachment style shapes the way you show up in your relationship and connect with others, click this YouTube card over here or check out the link in the description below. While it can be an effective short-term strategy for avoiding harm, the Fawn response can lead to long-term negative consequences, including loss of identity, resentment, and unhealthy relationships. And here's how. Continually putting other people's needs first can cause you to lose touch with your own desires and sense of self. Over time, constantly appeasing others can lead to feelings of resentment and burnout. And this response can perpetuate unhealthy relationship dynamics where your needs are consistently overlooked or dismissed. Understanding and addressing the Fawn response is crucial for personal growth and mental health. Click or tap here to develop healthier coping mechanisms for healthier, more balanced relationships. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.